Good evening. In previous session, we have seen the concept of packages. So let us see one small example in modules. I have missed one small concept. That is, if you want to access some module, for example, module 1, module 2, this is present in some C drive. This is present in some D drive, for example. So now if I want to access this module 2 from this module 1, so in previous examples, what I have shown you, so in the concept of packages, I have created two packages. One is Shiva, another one is Ram package I have created, and I have shown you how to access a module that is present inside Ram from this Shiva. I have shown you in previous sessions. Now the concept is, here I am talking about different drives I am talking about. So if you see the concept of this one, here what we are going to see, these two are present in the same drive. That is, for example, I am going to consider it in a C drive, so that it is possible. I have shown you by taking one small example, Shiva and Rama, in previous session. But now I am talking about, I have some files in C drive and some modules in D drive. I want to access, that is from C drive, from module 1, I want to access the contents of module 2. Okay, so that now I am going to show you the example how to access the contents of module 2 from module 1, which is present in two different directories. Okay, now let us take that example. So first I want to show you what are the things that are present in the on the desktop and also in D drive. So observe the case. Here in desktop we are having what? I will take one sample, I will open the sample, and I want to access one of the module which is present in D drive. Observe here, in D drive we are having M1, only M1 is there. I want to access this module. This is present in which address? D colon, that is directly inside a D drive. M1 module 1 is present. Now observe the case here. First I will show you where I am currently. So first I want to import sys module, and here just I want to print, I'm going to print sys.path. So it is going to show me the paths. So observe the output here. So you can observe here what are the outputs that is generated. So first one, where is my simple file on the desktop, so that it is going to show that particular desktop. Next, these are by default paths for the Python. Now the concept is, if I am going to execute something from the desktop, it will be executed because I am having the path current working directory is desktop, so that if I want to access anything from the desktop, it is going to be work. Now I am going to consider a module from another drive, not the package or not the folder. I am talking about another drive. This is in which drive? This is in C drive. Okay, so to access the, for example, observe here, if I am going to consider in RAM, I am having some R3, oh sorry, M3. In this I am having what function called as func3 is there. So to access this one, what I can do, just from the desktop I can import that one. Yesterday's class we have seen that. So just what I have to write, so just I will show you that one once. I want to, from where, see, observe this one. What is the name of that directory package? RAM. From RAM dot, okay, inside that what we are having, inside that I am having M3. So import all, star indicates all. Just I am going to call one function, that is function 3. So observe the output of this program. So we are going to get hi function 3. There is no problem here. Reason is both are related to C drive only. So this RAM address is what? Let us see the address of this RAM. RAM, see here, C user Saujiyammu desktop RAM. Where our sample program is present? Sample program is present in C user Saujiyammu desktop. So both are present in the same drive, so that we are getting the output correctly. But now I want to execute a module which is present inside a D directory. Sorry, D drive, not directory, D drive. So observe this one. This is a D drive. What is the path of this one? D colon. Now observe, is there any path called as D colon in this list of paths? Not there. So now what I have to do and how I have to access the module, that is present in a different drive. Okay. Now observe one thing here. In this program, 1 minute. So okay, in this sample, I am going to write a function. One sys dot. I am going to import sys module, import sys. In this, I am going to write what? Print of sys dot path. Okay. Now observe the output here. I am going to get some locations. How we are going to get this path? Why we are going to get this path means the current working directory C. What is the current working directory? C : user Saujammu desktop. So that I am going to get this one. For example, I am going to close this one once. I am going to close this one, and once again I will open that Python interactive shell so that you can understand how the current working directory is going to be generated. Now, is there any address here? There is no address. That means I am not having any current working directory. Now here what I am doing, I am writing import sys, and I want to find what are the paths that are available here. Now see, is there any current working directory? We are not having any current working directory. So that first location is what? Empty. It is showing what? Empty. Okay, that means if you are having any current working location or directory, then that address is going to be generated here. Now see, if I am going to open this sample, okay, and I'm going to execute this one, where the sample is present? On the desktop. So that when I'm going to execute this one, see, observe that here we are going to get current working directory. See, current working directory address is going to be given, so that first location is what? Current working directory. Okay, this is the concept. Now I want to access what? I want to access a module from the different drive. Now my current working directory is what? Desktop. Okay, in C drive. Now I want to access the module 1 which is present in D drive. So that in my path, observance, in my path, is there any directory called as D? So here it is C. Next one, here also C we are having. Next C directory, and C directory I am having. That's it. Now I want to add one D directory address to my path, so that whenever I am going to execute anything from the D directory, it is possible to execute if path is present. If path is not present, I cannot execute. So how I can execute? I cannot execute. If I try to import, for example, here I am in current working directory is what? Desktop. If I ask to import M1, just it will say the only one error that no module named M1 is present. Okay, so that what I have to do, first thing, I have to add the address or the path of the module where it is present, where my M1 is present, inside a directory called as D. I will copy this address. Okay, now see here, I am going to append this one. Append is nothing but what? Adding the address to the already available addresses, already available paths. Dot, I am appending this one. Okay, so Control V. Okay, let us try with this. Okay, what I want to import from that? I want to import M1. In M1, what is there? M1 dot function 1 I am having. So observe this. Yes, I got it. That means what? Here high function 1 is going to print it. Let us see what in high function we are having. Sorry, what we are having in M1. Let us see here. So observe this. Here we are having only function 1. Okay, so function is called high function 1 is printed. So now once again I will explain this concept. Listen carefully. So here I am importing what? I am importing sys module, and for adding the address. So now I want to show you what are the paths that are available now. So for that I am going to print what? Sys dot path. Now I have appended one path, that is what? D directory. Now see, you can observe that one. At last we are having what? D directory. From now I can access D directory also. If there is any module which is present in D directory, it will be there. Okay, After closing this program, if you open a new program, there will be no D colon directory for that. Only I am appending for this program only. For that means if we want to access anything from this program, this D drive is going to be available for us because I have appended that path to my currently available paths. Okay, right? So that what I have done. So in my path it is added. So if it is added in my path, I can import that one. I can import, what is that? In that D, what we are having, M1. So in that I am importing M1. Just I am going to write what? M1 dot. Just I will remove this one. Okay. I am going to write what? Function 1. FUNC 1 I am going to write. So we are going to get high function 1. Okay. This is about how to access the modules that are present in different directories. Okay. Right. Now, very important concept we are going to see now, that is exception handling. So this is very important concept, because in any program or any application, if you want to write in Python, then compulsory in that application you will use the concept of exception handling. So before going to jump into that exception handling concept, I will come from the basics of the errors first. Later I will go to exceptions. Later I will tell you how to handle the exceptions. Okay, right. So first I will demonstrate about these errors first. Later we will go to exceptions. So first I want to tell you about an error. So what is an error? Error means, see, observe one thing. Here I am going to execute something. So I have written something here. So first I will talk about the English language. The language is English. Okay. Now study this one once. The language, this is what I thought of, it is a language, but I have written what? Language is English. I have written that. Means here, what are the errors we have found here? First error and second error. Okay, that means what in any language, if we have written any mistake, then how I can say this one as a mistake? Because in my mind, what is there instead of this one? In my mind, what is there? Language is there. So that I am thinking that it is a wrong statement or wrong word. In my word, it is having what? Instead of that one, what should be there? English should be there. So that I think that it is a correct word. So that I am telling this one as a mistake or error. In my mind, it is what is there? English is there. But what I have written? English I have written. So it is wrong. That means by default, Python virtual machine knows something, some statements or some syntaxes, it knows something. So if we tell something, it should be understandable by, it should be understand by this PBM. If it is not going to understand that statements, whatever we are going to write, it is going to throw some exceptions, or we can say first it as an errors. When we are going to get an errors, tell me, if the code or if a language, whatever we are going to write, if it is not understandable by a human, for example, language, I don't know what is the meaning of language. That means what I will say, I will say that it is an error because it is not present in my mind. So that we are going to get an error. So what I know, language I know. If anybody asks me about language, I can say there is no problem. In the same way, here I have written what? English. So it is not, I don't know what is meant by English. I know only about English. So if anybody asking about this one, I don't know about that English because it is not present in my mind. So that in my mind, what is there? English is there. If in the place of English, if I write this one, we are going to get an error. Okay. In the same way, if I am going to write something which is not known by your PVM, that is nothing but Python virtual machine, then automatically it throws what? It throws an error. So first let us talk what are the different types of errors we are going to have in our general any programming language, not only in Python. In any programming language, generally we will have two types of errors we are going to have. First one is syntax errors. First one is syntax errors. So first I will discuss about syntax errors, and second type is runtime errors. Okay. So what is meant by a syntax error? First, let us I will discuss about what is meant by a syntax error. So syntax error means syntax. We have to observe this one, syntax. That means internally for your Python virtual machine, all the syntaxes are by default known by our Python virtual machine. For example, like our grammar, So if I am talking anything, if I want to talk about the present situation, I have to use is. Okay. If I want to talk about already past situation, I have to talk about was. Okay. That means what we know is and was. Okay. When we have to use this one, when I'm talking about present situation, this is. That means what currently I'm doing that one. So I have to use is. If I want to tell about previous one or past things, that was, I will talk as what was. So if I am going to do any mistake, that means if I want to talk about a present, and if I am writing it was doing, if I write it was doing, is it correct? It is not correct, because was should be used only for the past, not for present. That means in a grammar we can find out some errors. How we can say it is an error? It is an error because it is not in a correct grammar or correct wording, it is not there. So that we can say it as what? Error. In the same way, we can say it as what? Grammatical mistakes we can say here. In the same way, syntactical errors means already our Python virtual machine knows that if I want to print any statement, here print should be there, open bracket should be there, close bracket should be there, and whatever the things we want to print, that has to be written inside this one. It knows that. But instead of this type of syntax, if I write any other thing, we are going to get what? An exception, or sorry, an error. I will show you. Next case, if I want to write any if statement, if I am going to write a greater than b, and here I am writing that print a is greater, for example, I am going to write a is greater. So this is the statement I want to execute. According to our Python, if we are going to write any conditional statement, it should have what? After writing a if and some condition, after that we should have what? Colon we should have. But here I have not written any colon, so that it don't know what it should be. That means it knows that what is if and what is this condition. After that condition, compulsory there should be a colon. If it is not there, it will clearly tells us some, there is a syntax error, you should have write some colon. Okay, so first I will show you the syntax errors. That means already some syntax will be given to for every statement in a Python. If we are not going to follow that syntax, we are getting a syntax error. In these two cases, I will show you how the syntax errors are going to be occurred in our Python. Okay, right. Now see, just I will take two examples. First one, print of. So print, I am taking double quotes, I am going to take. Observe this one. Here, clearly it is saying what? Syntax error. Syntax error, that is what? Missing parenthesis in call to print. Did you mean print high? It is clearly saying, see, it is suggesting us, not only saying it has a syntax error, that it is saying what? Print high. Why it is clearly saying print high means there is one, it can understand what I mean that. I mean here, reason is, the same statement is correct in our Python 2, so that it knows if Python 2 programmer is going to write Python 3 program in Python 3, then he will write this type of prints. But according to our Python program, if you want to print anything, there I have to use compulsory this parenthesis, and inside that one only I have to write something what I want to print. Now there is no problem. Okay, so this is the concept. So this is called as what? Syntax errors. Why we are going to get a syntax errors? While we are using a print, compulsory parenthesis has to be used. It is a written already it was defined inside a PVM. If I'm going to write Python compulsory, there should be open bracket parenthesis should be there. Inside that only we have to print whatever we want to print. Okay, right. We are going to get a syntax error. Next, I am going to take one more if condition. If 10 greater than 20 I am going to take. I want to write something here. For example, okay, just I will take one file so that you will get a clarity on this one. In this, I am going to write okay. Now observe, if I am going to write 10 greater than or less than 20, I am not going to place any colon and I am giving some tab space. And here I am writing print 10 is greater. 10 is greater. Okay. I think the program is correct. I think so. But while executing, if you execute from this command prompt, you can observe the errors clearly. Now see, I'm going to type Python space. What we are going to have, the program name is sample.py. So observe, it is going to give me a syntax error, invalid syntax. So it is showing me here. That means what? It don't know. It is invalid syntax. It is clearly saying that whatever the statement you are going to write is not a correct. Some syntactically some errors are there. So what is that error? Means just if I place colon here, it is syntactically whatever the way we have represented, it is correct. It can be understandable by your Python virtual machine so that it can execute this one. It will execute this one. So observe here, same program I will execute now. So it is going to give me what? 10 is greater. Okay. In the same way, here I am going to remove these brackets. For example, I am going to remove this one and I will save this program and I will try to execute this program. See, clearly it is saying what? Some name error it is going to give. Why it is going to give you name error? I will explain later. 1 minute. Just I will write here 10. First, I want to show you about this one. Here I will execute this one. Observe this one. Is there any mistake? There is no mistake. Reason is I am printing some value. Whenever you are going to print some value, there is no need of keeping any double quotes. But whenever we want to print some string, compulsory the value should be there. For a double quote should be there. I want to print 10 is a keyword. So just I will write greater. Now observe one thing. Syntactically, is there any error? There is no syntax error here. Observe carefully. So print is there, open bracket, close bracket is there. Something I have written inside that open bracket and inside a parenthesis. There is no mistake here. Syntactically, there is no problem. But what happens? Oh, okay. Here I am printing what greater I am printing. If I print 10, there is no mistake. But I am printing what greater. What is greater? I don't know what is meant by greater. Did you define that one? I have not defined that one. So that we are going to get what? We are going to get an error. 1 minute. I execute the same program in command prompt so that you can find what? Syntax error. It is showing clearly. Okay. This is the concept of a syntax error. That means already some syntaxes are written inside a that is already known by your Python virtual machine. If you are not going to write according to that, your Python virtual machine is going to give you a syntax error. Okay, this is about syntax error. So if there is any syntax error, who is responsible of that? Who has to rectify that? Who has to modify that to execute to get a correct output? It is the task of programmer. So see, in this example, if I am going to get any what I can say syntax error, what I am doing myself, I am going to change this one and I'm going to place here double quotes. So programmer has to do it. Okay, so that I got some output here. Okay, that is whenever we are going to get an errors, that is syntax errors, who has to modify? It has to be modified or it has to be rewritten by it has to be done only by the programmer. Programmer is responsible to correct these syntax errors. When the program is going to execute, once all the syntaxes are correct, then only program execution will be started. Until if there are any syntax errors, see, observe here, one syntax error here it is there, another syntax is there, syntax error is there. So I try to execute this program. Observe here, it is going to show me what? Invalid syntax. So as it is showing in the first line, I will just change the first line and I will add the colon. So I will think what? Okay, there may not be any syntax errors. Once again, I'm executing. Again, it's showing what? End of line, which is a syntax error. So I have to find out what something there is a problem in this line. Yes, I forgot here. That means what? Until all the syntax errors are corrected by the programmer, the program will not be executed until that. Now all the syntax errors are corrected here, so that the program is executed successfully. Okay, this is about a syntax error. Now I want to discuss about second type of error, that is runtime error. Observe carefully now. What is meant by a runtime error? So here there is no concept of compilation and execution, but I'm talking about a runtime. When we are going to get a syntax errors, whenever I try to execute a program, if there are any mistakes in a representation of that particular Python statement, then we are going to get a syntax error. But what is meant by a runtime error means, when a program is going to be executed, then if there are any, that means for example, if something goes wrong because of the user, or we can say some program logic. For example, I will write some statements here, some program logic. So otherwise we can also consider some memory problems. Already we have seen this one, memory problems and etc. These are all what? These are called as runtime exceptions. So I will show you some examples also for this, or we can say it was a runtime errors, because we are not talking about exceptions now. So just I will talk about runtime errors. So observe the case. I will show you one case. So there syntax errors will not be there. At runtime, some errors are going to be generated. Like if there is any problem in a program logic, or we can consider a memory problem. So in previously, when I'm comparing generators with a list, we got memory error. I think we have seen that memory error. That is what, because of not my program. My program is not having any mistakes, but also it is going to generate some runtime error. Reason is, while the program is executing, my RAM has to allocate memory for this program, so that the space what it is allocated for my program is not sufficient for that program to execute. So that it is going to throw who is going to throw? Python virtual machine is going to tell that you are having a memory error. Is there any problem with your program? There is no problem with the program, but everything is correct by the program, but it is because of your memory. Okay, it is a runtime error. In the same way, if I am going to write some program logic as a wrongly have written that one, so what happens? I am going to get a runtime error. So just I will show you by taking one example what is meant by a runtime error. Observe that here I am going to take a program a equal to, I want to take two integer values and I want to perform a division operation. So enter a value. I am going to, first value I am going to store in where? A. Next, I want to take same b value also. Just here I will write what? Just enter b value. So by seeing, the user will enter what? Two values. One is a value, another one is b value. Now I want to perform a by b. Okay. After that, I will print what? I will print just the division of a and b. That means I want to print the values of a and b. So that a, and I am going to write, and b I am going to write here. Is what? Where is the result stored? Okay, is, so observe here a and b means I want to print the b value. Okay, is where it is inside a C. Observe this one carefully. If you understand this one, you can understand what is meant by a runtime error. So before going to show runtime error, just I will remove this bracket and I will try to execute this program. So see what happens here. Clear, it is saying what? Syntax error. That means if you are going to write some statement, syntactically some mistake is there. So just keep what? Comma here. So now see, syntactically there is no problem. So directly it is asking what? Enter value. That means the program is executing successfully. The program started. Why it is started? Because there are no syntactical errors in my program. So just I will take 10 and I will take 2. There is no problem. The output is correct. That means my program is successfully executed with a correct output. Is there any problem? There is no problem. But now see, now observe. The same program I will execute. I will take a value 50 and I will take B value as 0 and observe. What we got? Zero division error. What is the problem in this program? There is no problem in the program, but you are going to perform an operation division with 0. That means we cannot divide a number with 0. So that at runtime we are going to get this error. See, I'm running my program. While running this one, I got an error. These type of errors are called as runtime errors. Okay, so generally these runtime errors are called as exceptions. Okay, that means exceptions are raised at what time? At runtime, not at syntax. These are called as syntax errors. If there is any syntax problem, it is called as a syntax errors. But whenever you are going to execute at runtime, if you are going to get any errors, we are calling it as what? Exceptions. Just I will take the same example once again, and I will give some other value. So here I am going to give some 50 value and I want to divide it with 2. Okay, I am writing out 2 value. Observe here, it is saying clearly value error, invalid literal for int with base 10. That means if I want to divide any numerical number, compulsory it should be what? Numerical number only. But here I am giving what? String type. So we are going to get which error? Value error. At what time we are getting this value error? At runtime. So this can be called as what? An exception. Here this can be called as what? An exception. Because of a small logic or a small except 0. Observe one thing here. Observe one thing. I am going to execute this one. 10 and 5 I am going to. There is no problem. Once again I will execute. I will take 56 and I will take B value as 36. There is no problem. Everything will be correct. If you take any value numerator, let us take a numerator as 0 and denominator as 23. There will be no problem. We are getting answer as 0.0. Except one case, when I am going to perform division operation, except in one case, we are going to get output in every case. What is that case means? That case is, if you take numerator any value, there is no problem. But if you are taking denominator as 0, then in this case, we are going to get an exception. Why we are going to call this one as an exception means, except this case, except 0, we are going to get all outputs. So we are calling it as a what? Exception. We have to accept this one, except this, we are going to get everything as a correct. So we are calling this one as what? Exception. Okay, this is a small example to make you understand about the exceptions. Now, so here what happens? Because of one statement, remaining all entire program is going to be stopped here because of one line. Okay, so which line? Because of, for example, I will take just here, I will take one line, that is print. I want to take after exception. After exception I am going to take, just I will print some lines here before exception also. Just I will write here print of before exception I am going to write. So observe this one. So I will execute these 3 lines where there is a chance of getting an exception in this line only. So let us execute once. First I will take without any exception. That means I will take the value 2 or something. So we are getting everything. So before exception is printed. After that I am going to get what? 10 and 2 is 50 I got. After exception also it is printed. But now observe, I am going to execute the same program once again. I will take the value as 10 and B value as 0. Now observe clearly, it is not going to print anything except before exception. Why it has printed before exception? Here in this line I got an exception. Okay, so that it will execute up to this statement. While executing this statement, there is an error, runtime error, which is an exception. So that from here the program will be stopped. Is there any problem in this line? Not there. Is there any problem in this line? Not there. If I write 1 lakh lines, if I write only one line, and if I take B value as 0, entire program will be stopped. The lines that are written of the statements that are written after any exception, which is not handled, those statements are not going to be printed. Now if you observe, see, up to here there is no problem. First 3 lines, there is no exception here. So it is printed. Here there is an exception. Because of this statement, there is an exception. So that after this, the program will not execute normally. Abnormally, from here, we are going to terminate it. The program is going to be terminated, or we can say the program is going to be stopped because of this single line. Okay, all right. Now, just I will take one small example so that I will it will make you clear. So this is a classroom. This is a classroom. In a classroom, 60 students are there. For example, 60 students are there, BTech students. So on, all students are there. Here faculty is there. While this faculty is teaching, one student is making a noise. He is making a noise, for example. So because of this student, will this faculty stops teaching? Will he stops teaching? Is it correct if he stops? For example, if he is going to stop, is it correct way of maintaining? Is it correct? It is not correct. Reason is what? Except this, remaining all are good. So that what he will do? He has to handle this one. He has to handle this student. In which way? Either he has to give a punishment to this person, or he can send this person outside, or he can send him to the HOD, or he may send him to principal, or he may tell to call their parents. That means what? There are many handling techniques are there. This is one type of handling, this is one type of handling, this is one type of handling, and this is one type of handling. Outside is one type of handling. Okay, these many ways I can handle. Because of this person, if I stop teaching in the classroom, what happens? Remaining all 59 students are going to be affected. Is it correct? It is not correct. So what we have to do? It is recommended to handle this type of situations. Compulsory, if there is any noise in a classroom, only we have to punish that particular student, and remaining students should not affect that particular, because of that particular student. Okay, this is the concept of exception. Okay, right. Now let us discuss about it technically what is meant by an exception. So just I will write this one so that you will get a clear idea on this one. An exception is an event. That means something is going to be occurred. That is an event. Is an event which occurs. When it is going to occur? When in a runtime. Okay, during the execution of the program, which occurs during the execution of a program. Execution of a program. What it is going to do? When it is going to rise, what it is going to do? That is going to stop my program. That disrupts. What it is going to do? That disturbs the program. Means what? Normal execution it is going to stop. Normal flow of the program. Normal flow of the program. Okay, let us take normal flow of the program. That means what? Generally, here sequence of statements are there, 1 to 10 for example. So here there is an exception. So whenever an exception is going to be raised, that means what? Something is going to be happened. So that I call it as an what? Event. Which when it is going to occur? When I'm executing the program. That means at runtime, during the execution of the program, if we are going to get an exception, what happens? The normal flow, actually it is coming up to here, there is no problem. Now because of this exception, flow is going to be changed. The normal flow is going to be disrupted. Okay, because of this exception, we are going to end the program abnormally. Normal execution is nothing but what? Executing all the lines, or anything, entire program successfully execution is nothing but normal exit. It is a normal exit. If some exception is raised in your program, because of that, if you are going to exit the program, it is called as abnormal exit or abnormal termination. So if you are going to exit the program abnormally, then whatever the expected output, you are not going to get from that program. You are not going to get the expected output from the program because of this exception. So because of this small exception, is there any need of stopping entire large program, or small, it may be small program also? Is there any need? No, I will not do that. Then what I will do? I will handle that one. so that I will go to the concept of exception handling. Okay, to which concept I am going for? I am going to exception handle. I will handle it, I will not leave it. If I leave it, because of that exception, entire program is going to be stopped. So that I will handle it in any way, it's my wish. Okay, so just before going to that, I want to make you to remember some points already, whatever you know. That is, already I have discussed 3 or 4 times. That is, everything in Python, everything in Python is what? An object. Is an object, except keywords, okay, this is very important word. So in the same way, exception is also an object. Exception is also an object, right? You may not know in detail about this object, but don't worry, just I will give a brief introduction about these objects. Later we will go to, whenever we are going for the concept of object oriented programming, there you can understand what is meant by an object. But before going to that, I have to discuss this exception handling, right? Now this exception object or error, this object is going to tell me which type of exception is going to be occurred. This is going to tell me what? About the exception. That exception object is going to tell me about the error. Otherwise clearly I will write about the error. So don't worry, when we go to an example, you can get a clear idea on this one. So in our language, if you want to speak in a general language, what is meant by an exception? So listen carefully. I am going from Hyderabad to Vijayawada. Okay. So for a week, at least once I will go, for example, in weekends. Okay. So daily, first time I went to Vijayawada, I came back. Second time I went to Vijayawada, I came back. Third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time. Observe here. When I'm going to Vijayawada, there is no problem. I have enjoyed a weekend at Vijayawada and I'm coming back. While I'm coming back to Hyderabad, what happens? My tire was punctured. Okay, my tire is punctured. That is it expected case? All these times did my tire is punctured here? No, it is not punctured. So that it is unexpected. Unexpectedly something is happened. Because of that, what is going to be happened? Because of that, my journey is going to be stopped. So will I stay as my tire is going to be punctured? Will I stay at that road only? In that road only? No, I have to do something. Okay, I have to come back to Hyderabad, so that I can say what our generally, if you want to understand about the exception clearly, I want to say that an unwanted, it is not wantedly, it is unwanted and unexpected, okay, unexpected event that disturbs. What it is going to disturb? I am moving from Vijayawada to Hyderabad, it disturbs my journey. So unexpected event that disturbs normal flow. Normal flow is nothing but what? I will not stop anywhere, directly I will go to Hyderabad. So normal flow of program, this is our general definition which we can understand. So better if you want to understand, technically we can go with this, but if you want to remember what is meant by an exception, you can go with this also. Is called as an exception. One more thing I can say, okay, just only in 2 words I will say, that is abnormal condition. Abnormal condition is called as an exception. What is meant by this abnormal condition? Daily I am going to my college without having any raincoat in summer. Raincoat or umbrella, I am going to the college daily in summer. Will there be any rain generally? No. But one day, unfortunately, there is a rainfall. Am I expecting it? Is it a normal thing? It's not a normal thing. It is an abnormal thing. Except that day, in summer generally rain will not be there. So we can consider that one as an exceptional case. It is called as an exception. So which is not a normal situation, it is an abnormal situation. Okay, I think by seeing all these examples and definitions, you will get a small idea about these exceptions. Okay, just we can by this one I can give you a 2 statements. That first statement, by seeing all these examples, you have understood one thing: because of the exceptions, we should not stop our program. Reason is what? Because of one statement. If there is one exception, for example, why should I stop my program? I have to handle it and I will go with my other program. So if there is any errors, it is highly recommended. It is highly recommended to handle that. To handle that. Why I have to recommend you? If I am not going to recommend you, if you are not going to handle your exceptions, you will not get an output of that particular program. If you are not getting an output of that program, what is the need of learning a Python? There is no need. If you are going to write one small program and if there is any exception here, if you are not handling this one, you will not get any output. You will not get any output. So compulsory, I am not only I, if you are going to get any exception in your Python program, it is 100% recommended to handle that exception. Okay, right. Now what is the main objective of this one? Why to handle these exceptions? Okay, why to handle? Reason is, the main objective of this exception handling is normal termination of the program. I don't want to terminate this one abnormally. I want to terminate normally only. Normal termination of program. If I am going to get any exception, what happens? These lines are not executed. Okay, from here only I am going to terminate the program. Abnormal termination is going to be done. But the concept of exception handling gives us a normal termination. How it is going to give? For example, teaching example I will take. I thought of teaching 10 concepts today, for example. While I am teaching third concept, one student is making noise in my class. So if I stop my class, what happens? These 10 concepts will not be completed. Because of this exception, if I stop my teaching, these 10 concepts will not be executed. Sorry, these 10 concepts will not be completed. That means what? Normal flow is not done. It is not a normal termination, it's abnormal. Generally, these type of things will not be happen in a class, for example. Okay, so that what I have to do? If he is going to make a noise, I have to handle this one by using any technique. Stand up or go outside or go to principal, call to your parents. First I have to make the handling for this particular exception, and remaining concept 5, 4, 5, 6 and so on. 10 concepts I will complete in that same hour only. That means what? It is a normal execution, normal termination only. But if I stop here when he is making some noise, it is not a correct. It is not a normal termination. It is what? Abnormal termination. So the main motive or objective of this particular exception handling is what? To terminate a program normally. Okay, right. This is about exception handling. Now let us go to a small real-time example. That is, generally we are having everyone is going to have a Gmail. I will take about Gmail. There are some thousands of servers are there. So lakhs, maybe lakhs. Okay, so here this is server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. Here this is in, for example, Switzerland, for example. Okay, next here this one is London, and this one is Washington. This one is Brazil, for example. These are the 4 servers of Gmail or Google, I can say. Google servers. Server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. I am from India. I am a person who is going to access Google from India. Let us consider I want to access my Google account. Okay. Now, just I am going to type google.com, for example, or gmail.com. So first the request will go to Switzerland, for example. So here the server was breakdown. The server is not working. Then what happens? Because of this, will my site stops execution? No, it will go to another route. Here it will go to London, so that it is going to take my request and it's going to give the response to me. So what happens here? Because of this one, I am not going to stop. I am going to another case. Here I am not repairing this one. I am not repairing this one. I am going to alternate solution. Alternate solution I am going here. So that means exception handling does not mean repairing the exception. We have to define alternate way. Okay, alternate way to continue the rest of the program. Okay, that is about an exception. You may think that I am going to repair this one. I am not motivating him. I am not going to anything. Just I am giving some punishment so that I will send him outside so that my class will be silent. So that other program will not be disturbed here. Okay, right. Now I am going for exception handling concept. Now these are the different examples that are used to make you understand. So because if you are not having any other programming language, if you are not having any idea of exception handling in Java or C++, it is new to you. So that I have taken many examples. So if you have an exception handling idea in C++ or Java, it will be very easy to you. Right. First concept, default exception handling. What is meant by default exception handling? Who is going to handle an exception if I am not going to handle by default? See here, this program I will execute. Here just I am going to take 10 and 0. In my program, is there any handling technique I have written? It looks like a normal program. Whatever the program I have written here looks like the same program till what I have written. Okay, I am not going to use any concept of exception handling techniques in this program. That means new things you cannot see here. So that what happens, I will execute this program. If you are not going to handle, who will handle this one? Your Python virtual machine is going to handle that one. Okay, so observe here. Here we have to understand three things. First thing, at what line we got an exception? We got an exception in this line. Which type of exception is raised? Because of what we got an exception? Because of zero. Sorry, which type of exception is going to be done? Zero division error. Here we are going to get what? Zero division error I am going to get. So this is going to be handled by whom? I have not written any handling technique here. Then automatically what happens? PVM is going to handle this one. Python virtual machine is going to handle this one. So for every, already we have discussed that every exception in Python is what? An object. If it is an object, compulsory for that object there should be some class. So which type of exception is going to be raised? Some exception is going to be raised. For that exception, what is the class name? Zero division error. So the object is going to be raised. Sorry, the object is going to be created. Which type of object it is? Zero division error. That means by seeing this point, we have to understand what? For every exception type, there will be some corresponding classes are available in Python. This is which exception? Zero division error. For that exception type, I am having one class name called as zero division error. Okay, see here, whenever an exception occurs here, what PVM is going to do? PVM will create a corresponding exception object. What is that object? Which type of object is this one? Zero division error object. And it is going to handle, because I have not handled anything here. Okay, first what it is going to do? Just, this is my program, this is a user program. So the statement is written by me, so that your PVM will think that okay, so here there is an exception. Did the programmer written any handling technique or not? First it will check in my program. I have not written. If you are not going to write any technique, then if handling code is not available in my code, then automatically your Python interpreter is going to terminate the program. That means that program is going to be stopped by your Python interpreter, or we can say Python virtual machine. Okay, and what it will do? It is going to terminate my program abnormally. It will not execute entirely. And see here, my program is terminated from here itself. It is not executing these two lines. After terminating, what it is going to do? After terminating, it is going to print some message on my console. What it is going to print? It is going to print clearly that about the what we can say information of that exception is going to print. So it is what? Zero division error. You are going to get. You are going to get what? Zero division error. At what line? Line 3. This is called as a description about that particular error. So what happens? At this particular point, your program is going to be stopped. So remaining code will not be executed. Okay, that means if you are not handling, your JVM is, sorry, your PVM is nothing but Python virtual machine, is going to stop the execution, or we can say the program will be terminated abnormally. Now what I have to do? What I have to do for handling this one? So now I am going to write some code here. I am going to write what? Some code, and if there is any exception, I will handle. I means what? Programmer will handle. program is going to handle is customization. That means what I am going to handle this one. So there is a concept of try catch. By using the concept of what? Try catch. Not catch here, sorry, because try and catch is used in your Java. Okay, sorry for that. It is in Java. Here I am going to use the concept of try except block. Okay, what is those blocks? First one is try block, another one is except block. Clearly I will explain what is meant by try block and what is meant by a except block. Okay, listen here. Wherever there is a chance of getting an exception, whatever the code which is risky, we can say it as a risky code because there is a chance of getting an exception in that particular line, those type of code will be written inside a try block. Okay, those type of code has to be written inside a try block. Now let us consider in this one line there is a chance of getting exception, so that whenever exception is raised here, so the handling technique has to be written inside a, let us consider here I am going to get zero division error. So this here I have to write what? Except zero division error I am going to write here. Now what happens means the control will jump here to here. So which type of error we are going to get here? Zero division error. So that it will check for handling technique. So which handling technique, which error we are going to get, which exception we are going to get here? Zero division error. So we will jump from this try to except block, and here whatever the handling technique you are going to write, that will be executed. Okay, this is very important point. So now the point is here these two lines are executed or not? Those two are not executed. Again here also what happens? Again these two are not executing. In our previous program also these two lines are after the exception, the lines are not executed. Again here also not executing. That means what? Is there any advantage is there for this exception handling? Yes, there is. But why here these two lines are not executing means whenever an exception is raised inside a try block, it will come out of the try block and it will search for a corresponding except block. Corresponding means what? Here zero division error we got. Okay, is there any handling technique for that zero division error or not? It will check for that. If it is there, it is going to handle. If this is not written in your program, who is going to handle? Your default exception handler, that is nothing but JVM, PVM is going to handle that, and it is going to terminate our program abnormally. Now second point is, once if you come out of this try block, again the control will not go back to try block. We have to understand this one. Why we are coming out of this try block? Because of an exception. Why I will go back again? Because of this exception I came out of this one, so that I will not go back to this try block. If you are not going to try block again, these two statements, what happens? Those are not executing. Then what is the solution for this one? It is recommended, very important point, it is recommended not to write, many lines or more lines in your try block, so whatever the code which is risky, or we can say that whatever the code that is having a chance of getting an exception, that code has to only that code has to be written inside try block. So already we seen here, if you are going to write everything inside a try block, what happens? If there is an exception, directly we are coming out of the try block, the remaining lines are not executed. Okay, right, now see, now I will take a small example for that, and see here there is a problem only here. Just I will write what? Try for this one. Otherwise I will write try for entire thing. First observe that here I am writing try. Okay, this is a try block. If it is a block, what happens? Everything should be in tab spaces. So okay, up to here it is a try block. If there is an exception, what should be happen? Except block I have to write here, except Which type of error it is? Zero division error. Okay, right. So it will come to here. So if it is zero division error, it will come here, and it is going to do what? It is going to, 1 minute, here this has to be written here. Okay, right. Now see, here some handling technique I have to write. What is that handling technique? For example, print, I am going to write 0 should not be denominator should not be 0. Okay, observe. Now see here, this is what, this is not a catch, this is after the, sorry, this is not in a except block, this is after the except block. Now listen carefully. If there is any exception in this line, observe carefully, in this line, it will jump from this line to except block and will execute this one. After this except block, everything will be executed, but once again I will not go to this line. Okay, so see, if there is no exception, there is no problem. 10 and 20 I'm going to take, there is no problem. So which one is printed? This line is executed, this line is executed, third line is executed, fourth line successful, there is no problem, it is executed, and this one is executed. Now is there any exception in a try block? There is no exception. Then what happens? Will it go to except block? No. Whenever there is an exception in your try block, then only it will go to except block, otherwise it will execute remaining program. So that it comes here, it come here, and it is going to print what? After exception. Okay, this is the case. Now observe, I want to make an exception here. That means I want to create an exception. 10 0. Observe clearly. Now what happens? Before execution is printed, that means what? This is taken, this is taken, this is taken. Where we are going to get an exception? In this line. So whenever we are going to get an exception here, will it print this line? No. From here directly it will jump outside, and it will check for what? Which type of error here we are going to get? Zero division error. So that it will check for zero division error except block, so that here it is present, so that it will execute. That is what denominator should not be 0 will be printed here. After that, this one will be printed. What about this line? This line is not printed. Okay, this line is not printed. That means, so what I'm going to tell you, please write only minimum number of lines inside a try block. If you write all the code inside a try block, if there is a exception in first line, remaining code will not be executed. So it is recommended to write only minimum number of lines inside a try block. Okay, in next class we will see some more examples for this exception handling. Thank you.